Hands, why have you forsaken me? In your eyes, why have you forsaken me? In your thoughts, forsaken me. In your heart, forsaken me. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with the VeVe, OMI, DEFFINITY, DEVVE, daCAT, SHIRO, and Chaos on the Chains update video. We have a lot to go over with the VeVe specific stuff with the Star Wars, with their success, their not so good success with the drops today. And then we also have a Minecraft and Roblox teases that we have to go over. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. And yeah, this is going to be a good one. Unfortunately, I've been going live for multiple hours per day, so I might only do 2 hours today. I'll keep you all posted, but we do have a lot to go over, so I'll wait for a couple of people to get here before we get this going. Let's just see what a couple of things is for the markets, because we had a few over the last few days. If we go over to yesterday's, we had, like I said, we had quite a lot. So Binance founder CZ says Abu Dhabi is the AI and blockchain center of the world. We have some company called Basel Medical Group, which nobody I know knows, that plans to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. I think that was pretty insanely bullish there. DEFFINITY obviously doing so well. President Trump's executive director of digital assets says crypto is the next generation of finance. This is just a lot of normal crypto news to get your beaks wet up until we get to the specific stuff. You have Kathy Wood's ARK Invest that is going to, I think they just bought $58 million worth of Bitcoin. And we are witnessing, she says, the most profound technological transformations in history. This report takes our deep research from big ideas and translate it into investment decisions that challenge consensus thinking. Also, $5 trillion asset manager Fidelity says that Bitcoin may see another all-time high before the end of this cycle. I think they mean before the end of next week, because we're not too far high from all-time highs. Again, I'll keep you posted. Also, in other news, Ethereum gas price has dropped to about 10 cents. ETH is now the new Solana, according to Ash Real Crypto. It was a couple months after Tim Waltz was celebrating that Tesla was going under. Elon Musk says Keck, as Tesla was up 48% over the last month. Not as good as daCAT, that was up 250% over the last month, but we'll get to that. Also, NVIDIA and OpenAI partner with UAE to help build one of the world's largest AI data centers. Now that a couple of people are here, not a ton, but hello everyone. Saying people are almost out of gems. They just might be almost out of gems. However, I will say this: they could always get more gems if they want to. They could go on. There's a couple of ways to get these items for a little bit cheaper. Obviously, you can go on with your credit card and you could buy these gems, from the VeVe web app, the web store, app.veve.me, the website, because that is a lot easier. It's a lot quicker. You don't have to sit there and put in 300 gems at a time. You can buy as many as you want, I think within reason. Or you could go on and wait for some of the stuff that had dropped today or yesterday to go on to Stacker, and you could often get it for a nice discount. In fact, many do. They go on and they just use their credit card to buy USDC. Swap the USDC for OMI. You could do that within 90 seconds. I repeat, on the Stacker website, you could take your credit card, as long as you have a Coinbase account. You can buy USDC and swap it for OMI. Less than 90 seconds, and you can use that OMI to buy whatever you want on that app. What else we got? Okay, so I got a message. Cool beans. What do you want? Very nice. I guess first we'll start with Chaos on the Chains. Let's take a look at them, and they've been part of the daCAT universe because their story, one of their characters, and I'll explain it in a really cool way in the comics, is going to be in the daCAT universe. I don't believe I've had an official announcement here, but incoming transmission from the Galactic Nexus, Tsunami from the Ilarion Drift is joining Chaos on the Chains for an exclusive reveal alongside real Randy Chavez. Stay tuned, real things are happening. They're shifting, and I'm going to wait until he has the page. It is going to be Tsunami that's they're going to be in the story. He's one of the best characters on there. I have mentioned before that I might have outdone myself, because the main daCAT character, like the story in which it centers around, is great. But Maria There's a character named Maria that's amazing. I'd like to think the cat Randy is amazing. And Pro the Doge is really cool. And then this guy, Tsunami, is one of the best guys in the story. It is very possible that he could very much be a fan favorite. He's like a Pokemon mixed with Stitch from, I never even watched Lilo and Stitch. I know, right? But he's like a Pokemon mixed with Stitch. It's pretty heckin' awesome. He's got a lot of funny lines. He's got a lot of cool things that he does. And even though he's an agent of chaos, he is he's got a decent moral center. Anyway, what we're going to do, and this is going to hopefully be a new thing. You guys see me on streaming on X and on YouTube all the time. However, I've been going into other people's spaces for the past couple of weeks, and that's been great. I've been trying to get people centered around daCAT, SHIRO, DEVVE, DEFINITY, VeVe, and OMI. But starting tomorrow, and it's not going to be an everyday thing, but a good 21 times a month, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to go on and I'm going to host a space that I invite everyone. People can come up, they'll show their product, and it is going to be hosted with Chaos on the Chains. Chaos on the Chains is going to be a sponsor of that. They're going to co-host. They're one of the coolest. They're building on Base. Their entire cryptocurrency, when it comes out, we're not sure yet. I'll keep you all posted. When it comes out, we'll be on Base alongside OMI, and maybe we'll have some interoperability happen in the metaverses at some point. Anyway, we have they'll sponsor it. They're going to be a co-host, and after everyone gets a chance to shill, I'll go in and go on and talk about Chaos on the Chain. So it is going to be an education for everyone, what they're doing, and that is going to be most days except for Monday, because Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live with All Dolled Up from Sharby. We're going to host Space Penguins on Monday, but every Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. So again, most days per week, I will have that space, and again, it is going to be sponsored by them, and they will be in the daCAT comic. We might even make another comic specifically for Tsunami and for themselves. We just have to work out a couple of different things, but I can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of eyes on this amazing gaming project, and I don't know when the beta comes out, but the beta comes out for their video game in the next couple of months. Latest will be end of Q3, but it'll be very exciting. And again, when the crypto is, I'll keep you all posted on what to do in order to be whitelisted. I'll keep you posted on what to do in order to be able to get some things at discounts, maybe some OTC deals. I'll keep you all posted. Anyway, that is the news and announcements from Chaos on the Chains. Let's take a look at, we went over a little bit of news of just a lot of people buying, and I'll go and see how that's affecting the market. So Bitcoin's down 0.5% on the day to about 103,000. Ethereum down 3.4% on the day to 2462. There's been a lot of people talking about Ethereum saying like, yeah, I think it can go to 10,000. I think it can too. Be advised if that happens, we're at just under, we're about 2,500, be about a $300 billion market cap. So a 4x from there, if ETH is at 10,000, would be a $1.2 trillion market cap. I think that's fine. I think that is absolutely quite all right for them. Do I think they reach like a $3 trillion market cap? No. But can they get to 1.2? 4x from here? Yes, absolutely. A lot of it is going to be contingent on, now Trump has gotten trillions of dollars worth of deals done just in the Middle East this past week alone. That is going to help everyone a lot. That you already see the markets turning around over the last couple of weeks. Russia and Ukraine, hopefully that ceasefire stays good and they get a deal actually hammered out and worked out. And China, it seems like they're negotiating pretty aggressively with. And once a lot of these deals actually get inked, it seems that Jerome Powell will go in and lower rates from the Federal Reserve side. And the rest of the world is doing that already. So the world is healing. The new Pope is in, blessing our bags. So again, let's take a look at what we are going over with. We'll start with SHIRO. Take a look at what they're doing. And I guess the community didn't know this until I mentioned it in their Telegram before. But SHIRO is going to be on VeVe as well. We will do a crossover with daCAT at some point, but SHIRO right now is they have their own comic. They'll go in and again 60,000 followers over on X, 20,000 over on their Telegram. Again, they sponsor the channel as well. I do have a little, very small bag of them, but I think that bag will get bigger in July. And I told them at $100 million market cap, which is they're down about 2.5% on the day. Now there's $17.3 million market cap, only 1.8 million in volume. They usually have a bit more than that. But let's just do some quick maths here at 17.3 million. So you got about a 5.8x in order for it to get $100 million market cap. And I will get my SHIRO tattoo. And that is actually not that hard compared to daCAT. daCAT's down about 4% on the day. I mean, you can't just run up 250%, 256% in 1 month without, coming down a little, having a down day. So they are at what market cap? It's like 1.5. So it's a 1.55 actually, but let's call it 1.5. They have to do a 6.7x to get to that $10 million market cap before I get the daCAT tattoo. I might do something like that with SHIRO I'm sorry, I might do something like that with Chaos on the Chains. Again, we have to negotiate stuff. But I also have to take a look at Volt or Volt Inu and then DeLorean Labs because we might get something done as well. Tattoos may or may not be in the mix. I'll keep you all posted. The Baker says, hey, what up, Baker? How's it going? Crazy Dan 420, thank you so much for coming in and being a member of the channel. That is great. Love that. Gary O, how's it going? I think did you get a couple secret rares today? I think you did. We'll go over that later. And I know a lot of people are almost out of gems, but they could always refresh. That's what they do. What's up, Jamar Reese? And what's up, Brandy? How's it going? Meow, meow, meow. And yeah, we'll go over the Star Wars stuff in a minute. I just wanted to get a lot of the tokens talked about here first. And then hopefully I can. Why is my phone? Oh, did my phone freeze? All right. When you go a little too fast, sometimes the phone freezes. Let's do some DEVVE now. Hey now. DEVVE down 3% on the day to 55 cents. It is a bit of a rough. It's had a rough couple of weeks here. Earlier this month, they were at almost 80 cents, and they had wicked down to 51. And if you go over the past 3 months, they were up over $1. Obviously, if you go to the max, they were at like $1.80, like a couple of times. Gone all the way down to 12 cents, went back up to $1.80, and then over the last few months, just kind of this 54 cent line, that is a pretty nice support line. They did wick down below that to 51 cents and came back up. If this trend continues, you might see 40 something cents, you might see 30 something cents. We don't know. And again, they have had so much stuff come in. Same thing as VeVe. They've had so much stuff be announced as far as Will Stewart joining the team, as far as partnering with a major De Lubac, a French bank, and then being able to say like, hey, we are going to be compliant with every bank in the world because we have the sharding technology where we could shard up the crypto in a way that's compliant with their specific government regulations. So there's a lot that they're doing. None of that is baked into the price because nobody sees that. What will probably move the price is the announcement of their exchange. I'm sorry, who the exchange partner is, and then the rolling out of their actual exchange. And that's going to be, that we might not get that till December, both of them. Or things could happen where we get the announcement of whoever the exchange is in Q3, and then the actual rollout of the exchange in Q4. But we may have 6 more months to stack, and that brings me to my next token, which is DEFFINITY over here. Also sponsors the channel. Shout out to them. Down about 4.5% on the day. It's a down day for everyone, really. And they're at about 3.9 cents and only 2,100 in volume. They're just under a $6 million market cap. And this is one of those tokens that I think can do 1,000x. DEVVE, I don't think can do 1,000x. That's insane because they're already like a $50 million market cap. But so them going 1,000x, let's say at 50, so it'd be 500, 5 billion. That's 100x. $50 billion. I guess it's possible. It's possible that DEVVE does 1,000x, but I'm not going to hold any until there. I'll probably sell a good amount at like a 50x, and then the rest kind of let it ride. But yeah, I think something does a 50x, probably good to take some profits off the table. But DEFFINITY, I'll probably take some at 50x as well, because that would be about, let's say round it up to 4 cents. The $2. Yeah. Yeah. I could do that. You know, I have quite a lot. My network has quite a lot. But these are one of those things that I am going to drop absolute bombs. I mean, bombs on some of these tokens. If Definity goes up first before anyone else, you know, say hello to like $100,000 buy order on OMI or $100,000 buy order on DEVVE. I just want to shake things up. I just and it's like, well, Chavez, if you just did it at like 10K, you know, you'd get more. Like, I know, but I want people to know that there are whales out here that are serious about stacking this token. And it doesn't have to go that way. It could go another way in which DEVVE runs up first. Or guys, Raoul Paul's been talking about NFTs so much recently. Been talking about them. I think it was CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, something called Dick Butt, and then something else. And I talked about that at length yesterday, and even the past couple of days. Where take a look at CryptoPunks, and they're what, 48 ETH. That's like $127,000, and Grogu is less than 1/10 of an ETH. And there's far less Grogu than there are of these CryptoPunks. And nobody outside of Web3 knows what CryptoPunks are, but everyone outside of Web3 knows who Grogu is. At least Star Wars, Darth Vader, and that type of stuff. But Grogu is very current. He's very popular. Yeah, I would wager to say that you have a 6, 7. I'd say Grogu probably gets to 1 ETH, and obviously 1 ETH now is just under 2,500, but it won't be forever. Obviously, like I said before, 1 ETH could go to $10,000. That means a Grogu might be $10,000. If you're thinking, well, that's insane. Not really. When people think in prices, they think in prices of ETH. A lot of them don't really think dollars. And if you have a CryptoPunk that is 47 ETH versus Grogu that might just be equal to 1 ETH, then you know that it's very possible. And as ETH goes up, usually the stuff with it goes up as well. But that's Definity. That's kind of my plans right now. Tito 420. I'm coming blaze it down below for the 420. Slowly the puzzles are falling into place. I believe they are. What's up, Zombie? How's it going, fam? I heart you with all my heart. Zombie is currently. My fridge will be here in the next 7 to 10 business days. It'll be right over here, and I'll smack it, and I'll do the thing. Mr. MC1 is the person that he's got a place on the fridge for life, and the first month is going to be Bill and Zombie's Earth 2 adventure, Bill and Zombie's Excellent Adventure. They talk about Earth 2. I promise I'm going to spell it right on the fridge, and then they get it for the next month as well. Because of what they're doing. So in order to get on the fridge, it is $50 a month, or $500 for the year in ETH. If you have the ETH, I'm giving utility for OMI, $40 a month for OMI to be on the fridge, or $400 for the year. I am only going to have so much space on the fridge, so I'll keep y'all posted with that. Anyway, that's him. Also, before could I get y'all to like smash that like button? It's a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways, you know the drill. And I promise we have a bunch of news to go over as well. So let me take a look at that. Was Definity. All right, let's look at OMI. Let's take a look at the OMI, and then we'll go over the VeVe news and then the rest of the crypto news, because there's a lot. Congrats. Oh, he did. Gary O did get that one today. OMI's down about 0.6%. We are just under 0002 at 001997. We were at 001991 earlier today, and we are at just over $1 million in volume. This is why when people say, like, again, Modern Investor the other day was saying, we just want listings on Binance and Coinbase. I was like, I know that might be what you want, but Binance is fairly predatory, where they typically want about 10% of a token supply to list on there, which is more than the entire business development wallet. And Americans still don't really use Binance. So I understand Coinbase, because that's something that Americans could buy. But if Americans really wanted to buy, they could buy fairly easily, whether on Stacker, Coinbase Wallet, whatever, MetaMask, OKX Wallet. And clearly they're still not buying. So I think it would be a pretty big waste in order to get on Coinbase right now, pay for that listing when it'll just kind of pump and dump. It would obviously, I think, behoove them, and I think this is what they're doing, to go in and wait for that narrative to hit. And again, it seems like NFTs might be that next narrative. again, we don't know what it could be. I had a conversation with a buddy, a potential business partner early today, and I was telling him, like, we don't know what runs for. It could be gaming, could be the AAA game, it could be like Earth 2 or Chaos on the Chains, as I mentioned before. It could be, Illuvium that goes in with that, with Off the Grid with their guns token, and all of those games would do really well. Axie Infinity would do really well, and maybe you have like a metaverse thing that goes on, and then maybe NFTs are last. But you have DeFi, you have DeSci, you have all these crazy things in there. We might have AI, and speaking of AI, I have Sandy Cheeks. Now I have Sandy Pengu, or Sandy.Sonic, that is coming over on the podcast on Tuesday. 92,000 followers, and she is an amazing author, best-selling author, web influencer on AI. So I can't wait to talk to her about that and see what she thinks of penguins, of Pengu, space penguins, and all that other stuff. Like I said, a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, $1 million in volume is pretty pathetic. And I guarantee you that's not all real volume. I guarantee you there's market makers and stuff as well. So once that gets to a couple million consistently across all these exchanges, and the narrative kind of comes back, then I would say, yeah, let's go on Coinbase. Yo, Crypto Cosmo. Oh yeah, he hit mint number 77. Get that bread. I love this man. I love this game. That shout out to Crypto Low saying, let's go. I'll say woo. Everybody say woo. Somebody call 911. I hate these bots that come on and be like, hey, follow this guy for financial advice, and they have like 3 followers. Let's go, Crypto Cosmo. Okay, now that we've focused on the OMI here, let's talk VeVe. Let me one of my things. So if over the last 2 days, they've grossed around $75,000 between the comic yesterday, which I did not think that was going to do that well, but it did. Between that and the Stormtrooper helmets today, between the crafting, which was a mess, and then the actual helmets, which I think that went off without a hitch, $74,000, not bad. So they are well over $300,000 for the month already. I do suspect that they'll hit that 400 mark, because we still have the drop that they postponed, and they didn't tell us what time. They might. I assume they'll save it for tomorrow. Oh, I don't know if they'll save it for tomorrow. Well, we'll go over it here. I was on a No Millie space this morning before a meeting, and I was on there for like an hour, and just because he's shout out to O'Milly, he's awesome at spaces, and I'm gonna join his ranks soon as a consistent space host myself. And the drop this morning, not everyone was going for. There's a couple of bounties, a couple of bounty mints that Comics and Crypto had posted out. I think for the Stormtrooper helmet or the Mimban or the Crimson Knight, whichever one there was. There was a few of them, and people were gambling for that. And I was like, I'm gonna wait for like the secret rare ones. And I wasn't even talking about the crafting, even though I should have. But I had a meeting like while that was going on. That was a mess. But this went off, fairly well. It grossed like 18,000 in the first couple of minutes. And then like the first 20 minutes grossed like 18,000. Then it was slow from there, because like 10 minutes after that, so a half hour after the drop, is when we had the crafting and the app was crashing. It wouldn't work. Even the VeVe web app.veve.me, it wouldn't work. And you had I don't even want to say salt, because that takes away from the actual issue and I think David's traveling right now. I feel like we have to set expectations on how often David and Dan can actually be in the spotlight, because they have to run the companies. They have to run the companies like Akomi and VeVe. They have to go in, and Dan's got to build the metaverse. Dave's got to talk to licenses. They have to deal with all the problems that a lot of times as a CEO, you don't get to work on the problems you want to work at. You just have to put out fires, and that's like your chore. So I think we do have to. I know they say we want to be founder led. We want to be more in the spotlight, and I love every second that I can get with them, because I love them. But the reality is that when something like this happens, and Ben was great at this, he would come out and he would just give people their pound of flesh, but he would also kind of make people get it done. And I don't know how much or how quickly we can expect things to happen. Like, I would love to get one of them on the podcast, like even on like a space today, and say like, okay, what is the issue? What is the solution to the issue? And why hasn't that solution been carried out yet? And it's just like you can't, because like they're busy doing other stuff, or they're traveling. And again, we wish that they could do that, but unfortunately, that's just not. It's just not feasible. They're not electrons. They can't be in a couple places at once. From what I can understand, it was a bottleneck issue, supposedly. And the reason why I'm like a little like crestfallen about that is because they might have had like 1,500 people here. And I get it. Like the app is working so much better than it did when it first updated like 2-3 months ago, where that app was straight up trash. And they fixed it really, really quickly. They had updates like every couple of days. It got back to its old self pretty quickly. And some people were nostalgic for it. It's like, hey, doesn't this remind you of back in the day when, you had to be like a Starbucks with really good Wi-Fi and next to a router, and people in Europe were hacked because the internet wasn't as good as America. And yeah, I'm a little nostalgic for that as well. Next to the router, smashing that buy button. There's Clockgate. There's all this stuff. But the app's like half a decade old now, and I'll tell you this: for the affiliate program, the couple of people that I know, 10 million followers combined, and then somebody else with even more followers, like 20 million by himself, and the app's too slow. They won't do it yet. And don't get me wrong, the app has seen amazing improvements, and they're close, but that affiliate program right now is kind of sitting on the sidelines because the app's just not ready. And don't get me wrong, you've had the past 3 weeks an average of 40 new people each week join the app, which is great. Because the past 2 weeks prior to that, the average new purchase was like 12. Like one of the weeks, you had like 5 new users. But over the last 3 weeks, the average 40, which is again, metrics are looking so much better. And even like 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, the app had like 700 users a day. Now they're averaging like 1,100-1,200 users a day. So it is getting much better. People are coming back and they're spending a little bit more money. But still, like, it's just, and it's going to happen at some point. But when I see a lot of these people being like super duper complaining, and I know that most people just have to vent, and they just say this app sucks, this is trash, it shouldn't happen, and yet they're so posed about it, like, and they're back the next day. Like, they're going to be mad for X amount of hours, but when they announce what time this drop is coming for these Star Wars stuff, like, they're going to be there. How much longer can they, are how many times can they get burned before they actually walk away for good? I don't know. Maybe that they just need, maybe it's that type of relationship. I remember one time there was I was on a double date with these two people with my girlfriend at the time, and they like thrived on toxicity. Like, she would just like talk shit about his car and like his job, and he would just be like, I remember this one time we were at Friendly's. I'm aging myself there. I think anyone goes to Friendly's anymore. He says, "You're looking exceptionally ugly tonight. I'm taking you home this instant." And I'm pretty sure they went and they boinked. And I got the appetizers. But yeah, I feel like it's that type of relationship that a lot of the, I don't even want to say haters, because they're still on the app, they still buy, but they just need to kind of, like, badmouth it a little bit. They need to be like, oh, this app sucks. Yet, they're loading up gems every week. So it's a very, very weird relationship that a lot of these users have. And this is the stuff on Facebook. On X, people were actually fairly a bit kinder. Granted, I have blocked most of the fudders that just straight up lie. But again, you have to realize that there are real problems here. And Mitch seemed pretty competent. Letting him go, it seemed like he would have been great for today's fix. Why would they let him? Again, he was here for a specific purpose. He did that purpose, but then there's still problems. I'm curious on what they're going to do to try to fill those shoes. but we'll see. I mean, we'll see how long it takes them to go in and do to get this postponed. Like, when are we going to get it? Because tomorrow seems pretty booked. Because tomorrow we have Blackpink at 11, and then the next day you have the Star Wars, the pod racers. So maybe they do it tonight. I don't think they would do it tonight. Europe's sleeping. I think they would be really pissed. Europe would be pissed if, like, okay, we're going to do this tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe they delay it a week. I mean, it's still Star Wars month. Like, we still have 2 weeks left in Star Wars month. Month's like barely half over. So they might buck it up to the 21st or Thursday, whatever. So we'll see. And like I said, I'll keep you posted. Killer. Mr. MC1. Randy, you're a crypto monk. Live a very simple life and put as much as you can in coins. Pretty much. Pretty much, yeah. There's Crypto Ninja Monk. Strike early with coins and hodl while living a very simple. I try. Crypto Cosmo, what's going on? How you doing, fam? We love you. Oh God, where'd your comment go? Feel like I'm a disciple. Yeah, you could be a disciple. You could be the first disciple. Laughing. Bill Zombie's Metaverse Adventure. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I knew it was something like that. EV's post today about Minecraft as well. Okay, let's get to that. In fact, you know what? Let's crack a beer because my throat already is destroyed, and I don't know how I'm going to get through the week. Oh, I like Michelob Ultra, and the pure gold is an interesting taste. Not sponsored, by the way. So, a couple weeks back, I had noticed that David was following Roblox over on X. I'm like, Like, I understand following Elon Musk. Everyone follows Elon Musk, and all of the rest of the things that he follows. And we'll go over them right now. And so, wait, Chavez, Crypto Cosmos said Minecraft, and VeVe posted about Minecraft today. Why are you talking about Roblox? Hear me out. So the 23 people that David is following he follows Collectors Hub. Good for them. Webtoon Official, which that's their. I guess they're going to have some comics on VeVe. I think that'll be great. Maybe some anime. Most of the rest of the ones he has partnerships with, obviously Akomi, VeVe, Marvel, Disney, Avantgarde Interactive, then Kekius Maximus, Elon Musk, and everyone follows him. DC Official, DC Universe, MGM Studios, Universal Pictures, Warner Bros, VeVe Comics, Stacker World, Stan Lee, Viz Media, YG Family, Blackpink Global, Paramount Pictures, US Postal Service. So the only 3 people, 4 if you include Elon Musk, that he's following that they have not announced partnerships with is Webtoons, which it seems pretty easy for us to get them, Roblox, and Pokemon. Now on David's Instagram, especially for Animoca, Vagabond. Now Vagabond is his other store. They have Warhammer, they have Yu-Gi-Oh, they have Digimon, and they have Pokemon. And David owns the Vagabond store. So it would make sense that he would want to share everything that Vagabond does, right? But he doesn't. He only, up until 2 weeks ago, has shared Pokemon stuff. And actually to this day, because the Roblox stuff was different than Vagabond. But from Vagabond, he only reshares on his personal Instagram account the Pokemon stuff, which I thought was very interesting. And the only other non-VeVe stuff that he really posts has been Roblox. Outside of today, he posted something with Cause. I feel like they've been teasing a Cause partnership for like years. But it's been Roblox. And so he follows them on X. He reshares something from Roblox over on the Instagram. And it's like, okay, well, you can say like Minecraft's owned by Microsoft. Cool. Roblox is owned by like the CEO and a bunch of these weird, crazy. It's a bunch of venture capitalists. There's a bunch of these people. It's not any one specific company. So like, okay, and that seems like it'd be hard to do to get all of their approval for it. But I think we have a Roblox partnership. And one of my theories about VeVe's X account here, when they had posted today, one of the theories when they posted Minecraft, and we'll read the Minecraft post. Pop culture anniversary gaming party hat woo. Minecraft is a 2011 sandbox game developed and published by the Swedish video game developer Mojang Studios. Originally created by Marcus Notch Persson using the Java programming language, the first public alpha build was released on 17 May 2009, 16 years ago today. Have you played this iconic game? Share your favorite moments in the comments down below. My favorite moment was probably when somebody built Pokemon Red in Minecraft, and that was an amazing thing. And maybe VeVe kind of wants to throw us off the scent. Let's post about Minecraft so they don't expect a Roblox partnership, because David doesn't follow Minecraft. And in David's list of things that he follows, Minecraft is conspicuously absent. So he's following, or maybe he's following Roblox and has a, sharing their stuff on Instagram to throw us off the scent that maybe they have a Minecraft thing, or maybe they have both. I don't know. But I go and I look. Steven Duarte goes in and he posts, so is this a partnership or is this just a nod? And VeVe so swimmingly goes and says, this post is a nod and recognition of a historic moment in pop culture and gaming history. Now, they have done something like this before. It was a couple of years back. They had posted about, remember when Disney and NFL had that whole thing and called Andy's Room or Andy's Toy Box? And it got kids really into football that like, oh, it's in Andy's room. It's in his toy box. And VeVe like reposted it. It's like, what the heck? Do we have something with NFL? I mean, it's Disney. It's like we have some of these collectibles, and nothing ever came from that. So maybe this is just VeVe kind of pulling was it Wilder World? Where Wilder World had reposted something about VeVe, and it wound up being like, not Atlantis, Galactic Atlanta, like that thing that looks like a portal, whatever that was. Wilder World shared it with like a couple of eyes, and people were like, they were suspecting like a potential Wilder World partnership with VeVe, or Stargate, whatever it was, and nothing came of it. So maybe Wilder World is just trying to get some followers. Maybe VeVe is just trying to stir up some business with Minecraft and get some followers from there. In the same way that maybe they shared that story from Pixar and Disney and NFL when they were doing that, last year, a couple years ago. Maybe VeVe was doing that. But if we break down this post, and Steven Duarte says this partnership or just a nod, they say this post is just a nod. It's a recognition of a historic moment in pop culture and gaming. But they didn't say that there is no partnership. They just said this post is a nod and recognition of a historic moment in pop culture and gaming history. Steven Duarte says, thank you for clarifying. They didn't clarify shit. They went over and they specifically left out if there was a partnership or not. They didn't say yes, there was, and they didn't say no, there wasn't. They had said this post is a nod and recognition of a historic moment in pop culture and gaming. So I think it's open for interpretation. Right now, it is Schrodinger's Minecraft. We both have and don't have a partnership with Minecraft, with Roblox, with Pokemon, the Trinity, the big three. So and you have someone named I'm the Boss saying boo. But again, there's no, I think it's the potential partnership with all three of these things. And that's my interpretation of it. I'm not going to give you any specific answers of, yeah, they 100% have it, or like, nah, they definitely don't, because I don't know. David has been teasing IP lately. He's been teasing, like the company has teased actually, hey, new IP's coming. Could this be one of them? Sure. Now, we've gotten big IP stuff like this before. Like Blackpink just retweeted us. They have like 10.8 million followers. They just retweeted us. Thought that was great. Comments on that were a little rough, because the Blackpink fans, the Blinkies, they just want new music. New tour. They just want new music. That's it. There's a couple of people that thought the collectibles were cute. Are they going to go for them? Probably not, but we'll see. What's coming? Mr. MC1 says, what's coming, VeVe officials? So excited. I will comment talking about it now, even though I'm done talking about it. Let me get to some of the X stuff here. And I promise I'll get to the rest of the comments. Actually, it's not too bad on comments today. We can good. We're good here. Drop off or something. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Take a closer look. VeVe actually just posted, take a closer look at the Blackpink concert finale series showcasing Jisoo, Jennie, Rosé, and Lisa as 3D digital collectibles, each styled in 3 unforgettable Born Pink World Tour looks. And I cannot wait to see what people do tomorrow, because these could be some of the scarcest sets that we have on VeVe. Because as JKRB said, a lot of people are out of gems, and maybe not everybody goes and refills. Crypto Blade says, "Hey buddy, what's up, Crypto Blade? I like your Frogilnir, your frog, and your Throg. I think it's Walter Simonson or Simon Walterson. I forget his real name, but it's one of those two, Throg and his little Frogilnir hammer. But yeah, some people are out of gems, and I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with tomorrow's sets. They could be very crazy. Anyway, you know, we haven't Ubisoft before, we've had Blackpink before, and I think something that might have been missed with Ubisoft or Rabbids is that, and again, Minecraft, you know, they couldn't get it done in time for the movie. I feel if they, like, you know, or maybe they make it collectible for the movie, you know, if they have a partnership. But for Ubisoft, yeah, we got Rabbids, and we got what's that called, Assassin's Creed, and that was really cool. But you couldn't use those characters and play them in the game. What I think would be really cool, and this is just a wish, I don't think this happens, but if you could, because companies evolve and you learn from different past partnerships, what if you were able to go in and get a Roblox or a Minecraft collectible, and it doubled as a skin, and you could use that in the game? Now, people have been suspecting this with Fortnite for like a long time. Like, hey, every time something drops on VeVe, it tends to drop on Fortnite. And you know, we've kind of missed a lot of this opportunity, because, like, yeah, you can get Thanos on here as a digital collectible, and he looks great, but Thanos in Fortnite, pretty freaking legit. And a lot of kids, yeah, they'll play with the AR VeVe stuff on VeVe, but they are going to actually play as Thanos on Fortnite. So I think it would behoove both companies, whether it's Minecraft, Roblox, or even Pokemon, where if you buy the collectible on VeVe, you could then use that as a skin, or it unlocks a skin if it showed holding in your wallet or whatever, in their specific game or metaverse, whatever. I just think that would be fun. Are we ever going to get that? That might be too wonderful. We shall see. Oh yeah, Mazvan.ease is officially an OMI holder today. So shout out to, and this is the power of the daCAT people. Let me go see where they are here. The daCAT, someone from the daCAT community, known as daCAT Studios, who has helped me make some of my shorts for daCAT over on here. He's very good. He sent out 5,000 OMI to everybody that is in the top 20 wallets, and they have an ENS or an ENS name. So 5,000 OMI was sent to Cryptolos.eth. I'll read the names. Dagato.eth, Mr. Cryptonist.eth, lost the game. He lost the game. Lost the game.eth, JeffAdams.eth, PonziJosh.eth, Kingsley.eth, DBCrypto.eth, and AverageCat.eth, GrumpyX.eth, JupiterPhil.eth, ElonsCat.eth, Trump.eth, somebody's name is Trump, Warrior.eth, I'm sorry, WarriorPR.eth, TheBeezy.eth, Mazvain.eth, TheBaker.eth, Cadillac666, South Florida.eth, and SlumDogeMillionaire.eth. So there's been a lot of, oh, I'm sorry, and ProjectInterrupt.eth, TheCatChronicles.eth, DeBronk.eth, and Popeye in Seattle.eth. So this is the power of the daCAT community. They go in and they sometimes if you're a top holder, they'll give you some OMI. And even yesterday, there was this girl. I was on a Spaces. I'm on Spaces like 4 times a day now, and again, soon gonna host my own tomorrow, starting tomorrow. There was this one girl that was just, where's her name here? Crypto Nira. I was on a space with a guy named Toilet, and she comes in. She's I don't even say like a spokesperson. She's Pepe on Sui and Toilet Dust on Sui, and she just came in with this amazing energy, like, guys, I gotta tell you, I am in love with Pepe on Sui and Toilet Dust on Sui. There's always something going on in Telegram. There's games, and when I tell you, I was ready to run through a freaking wall, bro. After that, I followed her, I reached out, and I was like, hey, listen, one, woman in Web3, check. 2, like, just seemed absolutely hyped, good energy, good vibes, check. 3, going in and actually working for her bags, check. 3, check, check, and check. So I immediately reached out. I was like, and I'll read you the message. I said, meow. Loved your energy up there. Felt you deserved a small token of the daCAT token appreciation. Send me your ETH address. You deserve a tiny bit. She says, thank you so much. So I sent her a small amount, $20 worth, and I said, come join daCAT. We'd love to have you. She says, thanks. I'll check you guys out. It's and again, maybe I should have given more. Maybe I'll give her a little bit per month to go in and you know, we'll see. But her, just the energy that you have again, and you know, not just woman of color as well, minority. There are not a lot of women in Web3. There might be like two that are on, the 216 people that are on here. As far as the people on YouTube commenting, I think there are one maybe. Shout out to Bill Gar saying the 4 years of Randy. Start watching Randy Throwback. Yeah, you and Zombie. Yeah, it was long. Excuse me. I was in my office. Is that 4 years ago? Let me check. What were you watching? It was. I go to my history. Let's see the date on this. Look how crazy my hair was. The date on this is actually December 20. I'm sorry, December 14th of 2020, and that was 4.5 years ago. That was wild times, wild times. And anyway, yeah, I appreciate that. Let me give you a little heart over there. Give you a like. I'm curious on what I sounded like. I'm curious on what I was talking about. I think in that video, I think that was the first time I cursed in that video. I was like, I do not back shit. Yeah, it was, and I love the Earth 2 stuff, and I still do. You know, I will buy a lot more Essence as some of my stuff goes up. Now watch Essence be like the first thing to go up, and gaming just goes up first and it goes nuts, right? That's probably will be what happens. But yeah, shout out to Monzoon becoming an OMI holder today. Jamari says Minecraft. Yeah. I went over that before. I hope you were able to see that. Crypto Cosmo says, yeah. Bill Mo says, why the heck did I think that MC Williams on this episode? Hey, everyone, I don't know. I mean, he's always welcome, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I saw you post that. I was like, but he will come on, and we will be doing a massive giveaway on Saturday, June 21st. We're going to be a mega stream, and that mega stream is going to be with Mr. MC1. We're going to do a bunch of giveaways for a lot of our community on there, our community, because he owns 10% of the channel. So let's get to a bunch of the news here, shall we? Where were we from yesterday? There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of all good things. They're doing well. President Trump's executive director of digital assets says crypto is the next generation of finance. I agree. Somebody sent me this because they think it looks like me, and I'm not gonna lie, it really does. Half brother. I was adopted. I have half brothers out there. There's a bunch of me out there. So yeah, that's really, yeah. Okay. Anyway, an email saying, Dear ChaviCat, we're bringing the celebration to new heights. Literally, join VeVe co-founders David Yu and Dan Carruthers alongside Patrick Cable, CEO of Stacker Marketplace, for an exclusive rooftop party during NFC Summit Week in Lisbon. Invite-only experience is our opportunity to connect you with our community and share a great evening together in Lisbon. Entry is limited. Here's how to secure your spot. VeVe New York Comic-Con gold and silver logo. VIP ticket holders, let's go. If you hold a VeVe New York Comic-Con VIP entry ticket collectible, you're automatically in. Your logo is your golden ticket. No further action is required. Collect and craft the ultra-rare digital collectible. Mint 1 of 1,000 limited ultra-rare VeVe Lisbon VIP. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that launches on the VeVe app May 20th. Oh, okay. That's nice. 1 ticket per collector and no transfers. Event details is when, I guess I won't go over the details if not everyone's going to be there. Last chats and blinks saying all Blackpink digital collectibles will be burned on 22 May at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not sure who that is. There's Tesla. There. Oh, I'm not going to go over that. We have hired a new technical artist because we had campaign manager for comics, a lifecycle lead, and a technical artist that was on VeVe's HR page, their hiring page, even a few days ago. But now it's just the campaign manager for comics and the lifecycle lead. with no technical artist, meaning that the position has been filled. As Crypto Real says, billion-dollar companies in the world are buying Bitcoin right now, and they're not buying to trade for a 10% pump. They're buying to hold for years because they know that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Hoorah. Senator Bill Hagerty says the Senate will make history next week by passing crypto stablecoin legislation. Let's get this bread. Fair perspective. Okay. Stephen Duarte says, woohoo, just arrived. Limited to 500, one of 500, the Star Wars fig pin. This is absolutely incredible. Shout out to them just for being heckin' awesome. We love them. Chrissy. So yesterday I said on this day, I see clearly. 12 years ago, I was tasked to do something I don't really remember. I wasn't picked because of talent, but because I was the lowest ranking in the shop. Hashtag U.S. Air Force. That this was 12 years ago. And shout out to Chrissy Leota Edwards that I just interviewed. Looking good while doing it though. Say thanks, fam. Meow. Give her a meow. I probably shouldn't have meowed, but it's okay. The U.S. Weekly closed bullish, praying for weekend crypto pump, says Ash Crypto Real. That is on the S&P 500. It did close bullish. A lot of bullish stuff out there. Yo, Millie. Yo, zombie. Zombie. Hey, 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 oh. Oh my God, just check. Straight fire, right, Jamari? Straight fire. Jason Zorda saying, let's get this OMI holders excited. Matter of time. I know. In fact, I might be getting more OMI next month. I'll keep y'all posted, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great stuff. And so I've gone over this pretty much to death at this point. The $11,000 sale for that 1955, and this tracks with the special mint number because that's the year, the date the park opened. And it's like, well, Chavez, that's like 10x the floor, like 11x the floor almost. Like, you're right. You remember when the partner statue was $48,000? Yeah. Well, this same person got an offer for $500,000 when it was that price, and they turned it down. So 10x was not good enough 3 years ago, but it seems that it's good enough now. 10x seems to be the going rate for special mints. And it depends. You have I think somebody paid like $5,000 for the RoboCop mint number, which was like so much more than 10x. I was like 70x the price. But that's what happens when you have like competition. Clearly, $11,000 is a lot right now for a lot of people, and not everyone's able to do that. So sometimes high hanging fruit can become low hanging fruit. And somebody that offered this man $500,000 3.5 years ago for this just saved himself $489,000. Sometimes high hanging fruit becomes low hanging fruit, and you never know when it's going to happen. But clearly here, it happened. Brian Madrigal has got a similar offer last year, turned it down for his Iron Man number 616, and he turned it down. Maybe now he would take it, but there's this, and again, Grogu, the rare Grogu from 2019 or 2022, whichever one they had the bounty. I think it was 2019. This person minted a rare Grogu for $20, and he did not take the 100x. Like Commerce and Crypto offered him $2,019, so like a 101x on his money, and the guy said no. So there's some people that just don't need to sell. There's some people that like for me, if I get a special mint and it's special, I won't want to sell it. But if somebody's offering me 100x on what I paid for it, there's other things I could do with that money, and yeah, it's fine. But some people are just like, Chavez, you're poor as shit. I got like 8 figures of that. I don't need this. But speaking of bounties, Commerce and Crypto said a mint bounty was claimed. They secured the mint number 2022 of Star Wars: The Mandalorian, which was $10. So this is a 200x on their money because it was $10 to mint, and they paid him $2,022. So it's actually 202x, and some change there. And yeah, there's just a lot of money being thrown around, and it's still early. It is stupid early. You're going to have the next 6 months of this, and the bounties are only going to get bigger. Only going to get bigger, fam. Okomi had gone on and said, I know I said founder-led leadership is not off to a good start. I think we got to curb expectations here. I think we got to go in and have and not expect them to come out for every little thing. Speaking of which, Okomi had gone on today and said purchasing OMI with fiat has never been easier. In less than 90 seconds, users can use an eligible bank account, credit or debit card to acquire USDC and swap into base OMI via their Stacker World wallet. Accessibility, utility, and rewards. OMI powers where the world collects. And then, why do I have SHIRO Nico on here? Because they follow me finally. Yay! I am one of 44 people that they're following. I feel very happy, very excited. And I can't wait to get them over on VeVe. I can't wait to get them their comic on VeVe. It'll sell out. It'll do really well. And we'll be able to get a nice little kitty cat SHIRO high-end digital collectible. Just in, Elon Musk trolls Tim Walz for celebrating Tesla's stock price last month. Yo, Timmy, how's your day, bro? Because Tesla's stock price has increased by 55%. That's amazing. Also, this one dude, I don't know his name, but he minted like 10 X-Men Secret Rare comics. And I was like, in a row. I was like, bro, what? So, yeah, it's wild. I guess it's like casinos where, you know, sometimes like you put in like 50 grand into like a slot machine and it doesn't pay out. But sometimes you just get it where it gives you a couple thousand, a few spins later, gives you it's got to unload, gives you a couple thousand, and it just keeps on paying. So I feel like that's similar to what happens with comics that you buy via app.vv.me, you know, every Wednesday. You know, it'll give you like 200 of these common, uncommon, rare, you know, in a row. And then it will lash out apparently 10 of these in a row. You know, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Also, fast food giant Shake and Bake is now just officially accepting Bitcoin Lightning Network payments. Good times. What's up, VeVe Zombie? How you doing, fam? Oh yeah, what up, Zombie? Give me those eyes. Where'd it go? Mr. O'Malley says hi. Mr. MC1 says hi, O'Malley. Jamar Reese says, what's up, O'Malley? So he says, O'Malley, there'll be an interview on Tuesday afternoon that will change how you think about content creator monetization. You will love it. So Mr. MC1, that call that I have with who you're speaking about, that's just an initial phone call. The girl I have coming on Tuesday is the AI girl, Sandy. But the girl that you're talking about, we're just having our initial call on Tuesday, and then we'll set up a time from there to do the podcast. And then yes, we will get that bread. But we're just starting to get to know each other, and then we'll go from there. Oh yeah, lots of alpha, tons of alpha, the best alpha you've ever seen, and we're still on yesterday's stuff. President Trump says that he is willing to travel to China for trade talks with Xi Jinping. I like that. And Ash Crypto Real says, this is the crappiest bull market ever that I've ever seen. Sentiment is so dead. It feels like Bitcoin is trading at 16,000 and not 104,000. But it do be trading there, though. Speaking of daCAT Studios, I mentioned him before. He's saying, I used to work at Disney for 13 years. The idea of VeVe working and building the daCAT store universe is very exciting. VeVe needs to develop some of their own brands instead of just licensing out other IP from other creators. I agree. Even Mr. MC1 says very exciting. It's a lot of exciting stuff happening. Can't even go over that. Mr. Dr. Rolex, my man, he added an 8th one-of-one art piece and hit over 24,000 collectibles and comics. Why, you ask? Because this is the way of the future for collecting. And you know, he knows his stuff. I think he minted like a whole bunch of comics yesterday. It's probably the reason why they made like $37,000 yesterday for the other comics. But yeah, I guess I forgot to. I mentioned how much money they made today, and they did very well. But what sold out, what didn't? So the crafts, most of those sold out. The first two were the Jawas, where you had the blasted head stormtrooper, because you had the Jawas you burn like $1, and the cut stormtrooper helmet, because there's like 20,000 of those. So that was sold out pretty quickly. You know, for the Skywalker lightsaber you had to burn, because again, those are pretty cheap. But the common Darth Vader, that one took a little while. Even though there's like 12,000 of him, it's like 32 gems, and it's still it's still first appearance Darth Vader. But that did wind up selling out. It took a little while, but it did. The one that I figured would have the issue was the gouged and this one honestly is the most badass because it wasn't cut by a saber or a weapon. This was cut by like a rancor, bro. This was cut by a rancor, and because rancors are like 55 gems, even in the secondary, not everyone wanted to do that. Not everyone, but so as a result, was 451 minus. So there's 40. There's 146 of these out there. So those are very rare. And let's go to the market and we'll type in gouged. That's the first time anyone's ever said that sentence on VeVe. 21 in the market. So they're $105. So what you could do right now is you can buy a Rancor, and I guarantee you the Rancors are not $105. The Rancor, they were 50 this morning. They might have moved up to 60 or 70. We'll see if it'll show me. Oh shoot, they're $97 right now. So the cheapest thing to do for this is to actually go. Oh, and the reason why is because it was a blind box. So the Star Wars Return of the Jedi 40th character anniversary, and they were $60, and you don't know if you're gonna get Jabba the Hutt. Sorry, it's a Star Wars quote. You don't know if you're gonna get Jabba the Hutt, the Rancor, or Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Yeah. So that's wow. That is interesting. So if you go in and gamble, so obviously if you get the Rancor, you like increase by like you immediately get 50% gains if you get a Rancor. I don't think Admiral Akbar is worth that much, but we'll see. And Jabba the Hutt is definitely not worth that much. Admiral Akbar is currently 97. Okay, so yeah, automatically like 50%, 50+%. Now we'll do Jabba the Hutt. 17 of them in the market, and he is $16. So it's a little bit of a gamble here because you can't just get you could buy Rancor in the you could buy him in the secondary, but it's $97 versus possibly getting him out of the store at $60. But you could also get a Jabba the Hutt, which is $16. So that's an interesting mechanic, and the Rancor is about the same as the gouged helmet. So that's a really interesting thing there. I wonder what people are going to do. Yeah, it's 105 now because there's only 146 of these. And that'll obviously grow. Like they'll be at some point 150, 160, whatever. But yeah, that's interesting. So VeVe has actually probably sold a bunch of their stuff from that Rancor set. Let me see. I don't think I could see exactly what they're getting actually a bunch of money that I wasn't even expecting. Not even from today's drops. These drops went from, what were the dates on this? This drops from 2023. This is 2 years ago. And I bet you they weren't expecting that. Or maybe they were. Maybe they were. So actually, there's been 146 burned editions. Now, I don't know how many people had a Rancor already and is like, yeah, I'm just going to burn it. Bought it in the secondary because it's still a couple gems cheaper. And then how many people had said, okay, now that the price is above where it is, I'm just going to buy it from the primary market. But let's say like just an additional 50. That's another $3,000. And that's if, but so I'm going to take like a third of it. So 156, but I'll round up to 150. So 50 times 60. That's another $3,000 that they made off a drop that's 2 years old. That is really impressive. And they could do this like forever. That's really cool. So out of the total editions, what's that? 2883. Let's say they kept 90, right? Because back in the day, they used to keep 90 minus 1859. So it's 934. However, there's 788 of those. So there's not a ton of them. There's 788 that's in the market right now, but obviously there's 1859 remaining in the store. That's really interesting. That is some 4D chess that I wasn't even thinking of. Good on VeVe. Good on VeVe. What's up to Orange Cat saying, duh, cat, duh, cat, duh, cat. Mr. Alex Storyteller saying, what happened with the hair? What happened to, oh, it's gone. It's gone, bro. But it'll be back next year when I get the surgery. One Minecraft dirt block is one MC. I would love it if they did stuff like that. Miles Vance says, has VeVe explored a music side? Like, well, they started with Ron English, and his stuff is pretty wild. It's pretty trippy. And they have Blackpink, but it's not like, sound. It's not like, they dance and stuff, and it's cool. But and they have different sounds on different collectibles, which are fun. But they don't have like a, and again, Blackpink is like one of the most popular girl bands like in the world. Actually, probably the most popular girl band in the world. But yeah, as far as like actual like music, like, yeah, it's hard. They haven't done that yet. They might in the future. What up, Minecraft? What up, everybody? Meow meow meow. Meow 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 meow. And again, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I love you so much. Grosses, despite, thanks meow. On this day, now see clearly, everything is gone. Oh, thank you everyone for reposting my video. I appreciate it. But let's get back to some of the news, shall we? Me and Mr. MC1 are going to do Chavez Media hats. I don't know what the prices would be or how much. Maybe do like 50 with like 5 like special variants. Maybe 50. Maybe do 50 of them, but I sign 5 of them, or I sign all of them and I kiss one of them, and you get SWAC sealed with a kiss. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we love this stuff. Mr. Hulk 181 had grabbed 15. Grabbed Amazing Fantasy 15 comic for 105 yesterday because of OMI. And again, the Amazing Fantasy 15, if we look at it right now, I think it's like 125 or 130. Let's type in, and these are why Stacker is really good for the entire community. So if we go and we take a look at it, 138 in the store, so it's not a ton. And yeah, the price is 129. So when he purchased it for 105 worth of OMI, he's actually saving $20-something on it. And the person that gets it just gets, like $500,000 OMI. So again, good times all around. U.S. Governor Greg Abbott, Texas is banning capital gains tax. Property cuts tax are next. Says, hi, this is Governor Greg Abbott, and I'm about to sign a joint resolution that will constitutionally ban a capital gains tax in the state of Texas. Voters will vote on this to ensure that we're not going to have capital gains tax in Texas. The next tax law that I will sign will be a tax law to reduce your property states in Texas. Mr. MC1, I got to go to Texas. Show me your world. Show me the way. Do you know the way? I found out a couple of my friends cosplayed yesterday, so I gave them a couple of photos of the real Randy Chavez. Stormtrooper helmet, first appearance of Thunderbolts. Okay, so the first appearance of Thunderbolts. Witness the introduction of America's new premier superhero team. Can the Hulk withstand their assault? And why are they attacking the Jade Giant in the first place? The release features VeVe exclusive rare and ultra rare covers by Mike McCone and Chris Sotomayor. All for one. Marvel's Incredible Hulk, 1962, number 449, drops in blind box weightless format on May 22nd at 11 a.m. Probably go for that. And shout out to daCAT Token for being number 1 on Memezilla yet again, because they're so heckin' awesome. Bill Garner was going on saying, yeah, never saw pre-Earth 2 videos before, but started watching Poke. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, those are good times. Leave a comment. Yeah, those are great. Leave a comment. Those were a lot of fun. Zombie hit me into it. Yeah, so the pre-Earth 2 video, yeah, I did a lot of Tesla, and you saw, God, if you watch those Tesla Pokemon videos, you saw the calls, you saw exactly what I made. Oh my God, they were so beautiful. Oh, chef's kiss. Al dente. What's up, Zombie? Says, I'm on Kid Robot channel tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, let's go. Send us the link, Mr. MC1, and then post the link and we'll retweet that. I can't wait to listen to that. Sarto's Randy, the only Omi warrior. What happened to the Asian guy? You mean David Yu? It's like the Omi god. And then obviously you have Dr. Prophet, who's like the godfather of Omi. You have Foster Hilt, who is like the coin wizard. And there's a show every Tuesday called the OMI is My Homie Show, where Crypto Rain and Dr. Stuff join me, and we talk about most things VeVe and a lot of things OMI and a little bit of everything else. Like, we have an entire show, and the show takes up a couple hours, and going over most things just OMI. Obviously, here we go over VeVe, DEFINITY, DEVVE, daCAT, SHIRO. Today, Chaos on the Chains with that new announcement, and then OMI as well, as long as my voice holds out, which it is not. Ha 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 ha. Shout out to Figpin. Would be fun to see Dan Williams on the channel again. Yeah, the first time he was on, I think we had a great conversation. I think a lot of us had a lot of very nice things to say to each other, and he's a good man. I've talked with him a few times on the phone. He's a good man. Can't wait to have him back. Back to the KFC stuff, and maybe we get more. Maybe we get more. Potential Human says, why hasn't VeVe Official set up an official merch store? Many potential sales are unrealized. It's easy money and marketing from the VeVe family. Basically no cost to the company. Another bad idea from a stupid robot. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Thank you. Enjoy your day. That is Potential Human. I love him. And yeah, I think that they could just do something by Big Cartel where all they do is they link down below to my store. You can buy my Meow 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 shirts. And what they do is it's like print to order. It costs like, you make like a couple dollars off each one, but you order a shirt, they make it and they send it out to you. VeVe could just do they don't need to do anything. They don't need to hire anyone. They just need to put like a merch store on their website for VeVe shirts, whichever ones you want, and let the other people do the work. Again, they don't need to do anything. I'm going to screenshot this again, and I'm going to bring it up to them. Kaki Gaijin says, I just checked the Blackpink announcement and looked at the replies and the reposts. Most just want music and don't care about digital collectibles, but I guess it's understandable because I could seem like a cash grab to them, but that means I get them all to myself. Kaki Gaijin might get the whole set tomorrow. He might be one of the few that gets the whole set. It's going to be about $450 for all of the Blackpink stuff tomorrow, which is why most people won't do it and why there will be very, very few sets. I think it'll be very undervalued come even just a few months from now. I think people will be stacking. And again, Blackpink Official reposting VeVe stuff is just love to see it. Yep, shout out to daCAT, bro. They did Diddy dirty. Look, like this court case is going on, and look at how they not the baby. I'm sorry. Oh, here was my old cat Hooch that I fostered for 6 months. He was my naked Chavez arm. I only have one tattoo on there at that point. Hall of Fame. I made a post on this day. This was 9 years ago, where I said, all you college peeps out there that just graduated, you might have a college degree, but I'm in the Pokemon Hall of Fame. So who's really the winner here? And over the past 7 days, not including today, I've had streams for almost 4 hours, small one for an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. So my voice is kind of done. What's up, Sketch Lab? How's it going, fam? I love to see you. Love to see you doing your stuff there, and we'll get you as doing something on VeVe. Well, I mean something on. Well, I might have just. Hey, what's up, VeVe Zombie? Over that. I forget who it was yesterday. I think it was Casual Voice that put himself like dancing in like VR, and it was near a stripper pole. So I posted a photo of me on a pole because that's one of my careers that I used to do back in the day. It was a great job, made a lot of money, good times. BlackRock has bought $129.7 million worth of Bitcoin. Whales do be loading though, loading up. Ash Crypto Real says this is round 2 of the bull run. His Bitcoin target is 150 to 200K. That's where he's going to do some sells. I've seen a lot of people say it could go up a heck of a lot higher than that. Double that, 300 to 400K. Kathy Wood just changed her opinion about Bitcoin. I don't know what she said previously. My prediction by 2030 would have been 1 million. Hers is 1.5 million. Anything's possible. Kathy Wood even says, congratulations to El Salvador's forward-thinking Ministry of Education. You're helping your students get on the right side of change. ARC Educate is happy to help. Pretty much El Salvador's AI and robotics education program begins delivering big-time results. Kids as young as 7 are coding to coding the future and preparing to lead the age of exponential innovation. With this tomorrow in mind, the Ministry of Education and ARC Educate have been piloting an AI robotics education project with 2,000 students and 100 teachers. ARC Educate were in El Salvador this week to assess the progress of the program and to work with their partners in the Ministry of Education to continue improving and expanding on it. Students in the 1st, 4th, and 7th grades are learning innovation by building apps together in the following areas: water filtration systems, AI-assisted health tools, smart farming, gamification and deforestation, gamified translators, etc. El Salvador is definitely winning big time. This is perfect. US needs to have this as well. It 100% need to have. daCAT Studio says, daCAT whales with ENS wallets and 1 trillion daCAT. Oh, so they weren't even just the top 20. I have over 1 trillion daCAT, but I do not have an ENS wallet. But they were sent 5,000 OMI each from himself today as a tribute to all of the OMI holders who are helping build the daCAT community. Yeah, you sent a ton out. I read the list before. It was great. And again, daCAT Studios, go subscribe to him on YouTube. He helps me with my shorts. He does great shorts on there as well. And there's a lot more coming for both daCAT and me. Great to see daCAT Studios. Yes, and that's the power of daCAT. So you do have a whale. Is that? Oh, this is today. You have a whale that bought 10,000 Ethereum worth 25.32 million on Gemini. Smart money is buying the dip. Again, Kathy Woods ARK Invest has bought $58 million in Bitcoin. She said in 2019 everybody should have 1% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, and she was right. People laughed. Now she's probably increased that to like 10%. But excuse me, hiccups. A whale earlier this morning opened up a $276 million 40x long position on Bitcoin. His liquidation price is 95,000. Do we get there? Is he an insider? Is he just a random whale? I don't know. But a $276 million 40x long position is bananas. Also breaking, the U.S. White House says they are willing to sell their gold reserves to buy Bitcoin, which could be, I think, in 20 days they're allowed to. So at no cost to the taxpayer. They don't need to pass anything. They could just straight up use the gold to buy Bitcoin, and this would be perfect. I was talking about this months ago, and I said, okay, China's buying a bunch of gold. What you can do is, and they haven't changed the value of the gold forever, so they write up the gold to its current value when it's really high. They go in and they sell all the gold, break everybody else's banks, buy a bunch of Bitcoin. It is the smartest play, if they wind up doing it, that I've ever seen. Again, very smart play. Who dis? Got lots of you. Okay, thank you, Kaki Gaijin and Crypto Loves. Okay, cool. President Trump slams Walmart for raising prices due to tariffs. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, for far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as he said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching and so will your customers. So yeah, very nice. Like that. Randy, getting 10 secret rare comics in a row is fraud. That is a very, very, I'm going to say, not outrageous, but that's a very serious accusation that to say to someone, like, again, I don't know who it was. I've never gotten 2 secret rare comics in a row. So this wasn't me. But if it's about the person I was talking about before, again, I explained just like how casinos go in and they have, you could put in like 50K in a row and not win anything. And then somebody could just put in like $100, they win something, and the machine just starts paying out. And that might be similar to what's happening with some of the comics from that guy yesterday that got like 10 secret rare X-Men comics in a row, where they just gave so much common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and then just spit out a bunch of secret rare to catch up. Again, I don't know who that was. I am not calling that fraud. Maybe it's a glitch in the system. Maybe they have to change that or whatever. But to call that fraud is a very serious accusation. And Wes, thank you for being a member. But I would just take care of how you phrase things. Anyway, was on Tuesday is the initial call. That, yes, sir, is the initial call. It's the initial one. Yeah. As I bought a secret rare comic in the aftermarket, $50, and here's someone made 10 in a row. So again, not fraud. I mean, definitely maybe a glitch, maybe it's how it works. But again, fraud is a very serious accusation. Yeah, Dr. Rollix is a legend. I love that man. The glitch while they were being burned. Oh, so did anyone get those? Did they like actually get them? Very, very curious about that. the lightsaber one, that helmet looked like. Well, the one that had Vader's lightsaber in the helmet, yeah, that sold out. That sold out pretty quickly. Actually, that didn't sell out quickly. That was the one that had sold out. It was slower to sell out, but it wound up selling out. And I'm going to refresh the Gouge Stormtrooper helmet to see if any other people have bought that. Like another one person had minted that, so they burned another Rancor. Another Rancor burn. Now. All right, let's keep it going here. VeVe Meister says, my bad, use the term Star Wars was not used by you, but going to Greek Tyrant. Remember when Greek Tyrant was telling people about officially licensed Star Wars stuff and they weren't officially licensed? Sergio says the publication said that Star Wars was indeed used in the press release they received from the Stormtroopers NFT project. They removed after VeVe users pointed out the glaring error. Very nice, very nice. Oh, this is somebody. Okay, there was somebody that had talked about yesterday the VeVe challenge. I'll show you what I mean if you're not really on here. VeVe has a challenge when you go in and you click it. It's a fun thing where you go in and do tasks each day, and each task gives you a certain amount of points. But a lot of the people, like Mr. Rolex, like the top 100 have like the same points. Well, top 24 definitely have the same points. The top 83 have the same points. Then it goes from 570 to 569. We'll count nice down below 69, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess there's a bit of disparity between, like, I guess whales. I guess if you're tied, whales go in and get that extra tiebreaker because they just happen to have a lot more that they've spent in the comic, which, again, like casinos, you should take care of your whales. But you had somebody that said, like, hey, listen, this isn't fair. I do the same thing as them for the challenge, but they're going to win just because they spent more money. And I understand that aspect of it, but again, if they're the ones that have spent like a lot of money in the app, they should get rewarded for it. But I do get, it is not fair if you're doing the exact same thing as them. You should still get something. Foster Hilt had said, listen, I don't participate in the rewards challenge, but I have enjoyed watching the conversations from the community surrounding it. Because I think that users were yearning for a reason to be more engaged on VeVe. And now the company is trying a new way to engage their user base. To engage their user base with leaderboard competitions. There will always be community feedback received and improvements that can be made for future iterations if they elect to do so. But given the engagement and excitement that has come from this inaugural test run, I think this will be a net positive overall. It also gets me inspired as to how we can reward people with OMI. Good for you, Foster. Good for you. He says, also, my comment isn't directed at you, as I know you're just reiterating the initial post. But since I can't respond there, this is what you get. I guess the person in the initial post like blocked them or something. The glitch is his fault, losing money, should be able to get my gems back then. Again, I don't know if it was a glitch, although somebody did say it was a glitch. If salty about it, put in a ticket, see what they say. Hi, Randy, can you play a short clip of your interview with Jenny? Counting the 30 seconds on your channel, the finest clip ever? Yeah. I think I actually made that into a short. My short is, where's my shorts count? Shorts. Do you in the comments?
Jenny, I read your post that you had posted before this particular podcast where you say, I believe hashtag love is a distraction, but it's also a powerful motivator, can drive us to achieve our goals and inspire us to be our best selves, as long as we maintain balance in both. That's my advice for you. I'm fine being loveless. Reminds me of a quote by Natasha Romanoff or Black Widow from Avengers, where she says, love is for children. Jenny, why do you hate love?
Oh, wow. You came in heavy. You're going to start that with Jenny, today. You came in heavy. Oh, my Black Widow. You know what? The one thing that I could probably speak not only for myself, but all of the ladies here. One of the things that we love about Randy is that he would shock us of the questions that he asks, so it's
How long is this short?
Yeah,
Okay, there we
I
go.
read your post that you had posted.
So that is my I don't know if that's the one that you wanted me to play, but that got a big reaction, so I made it into a short. So that's what you get. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa. Okay. Sold my Rancor. Nice. Minecraft is huge. It is huge. And again, they didn't say that we have a partnership. They just said that they have it's just a post commemorating game. Like there's no way they do that. Like, yeah. I'm sure there's some type of partnership in there. But let's continue on. Actually, we're actually in today's, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're good. Let's take a look at. Oof, my crypto bags are down today. VeVe says, "Yeah, what up, Randy? What up, VeVe? How's it going, fam?" Ace Rig Move says, "Good morning, Randy. Watching your live stream from the Gulf of Thailand. Let's go. Let's go. Love it via Starlink. Give you some noms there. Oh, William Kiefer says, have meow variants on Chavez Media. Oh, I should have meow variants on Chavez Media. That's a good point. I gotta take a picture of that. We should have meow variants. Okay. Texas is the place to be. What says, I heard property taxes are crazy in Texas. Maybe I don't want to go to Texas if property taxes are that bad. Well, hello, Jim. Hello, Master Randy. So yes, property taxes are a bit high in Texas. Love DACAT XVV. I love that too. And maybe we'll have certain, yeah, there'll be a fun type of variant stuff on here. We should go to X soon. Maybe some challenges, the tiebreakers, MCP rank, etc. And for some, oh, okay, very nice. That was the funniest clip. Amazing and witty questions. Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't even like plan that. I just right before the stream, I just went on Jenny's X account and I just saw she posted. I was like, being loveless, like Jenny. Love is like, I don't whatever I think love is. I think of what's that dude's name, Bo Burnham, where it says, "Love is real." Oh no, it says, "Love is getting real comfortable and peeing in the pool. Love is real life porn minus all the things that make porn cool." And it's just a fun satire song on love, but I think love is amazing, and it's beautiful and great. And yeah, being loveless, like man, that's a hard sacrifice to make. For well, I guess if you have peace of mind and you don't have to, I don't know, like what's the point of being like so successful if you don't have anyone to share it with? Like what's the point of doing all this if you're not gonna like? And I get it. It might be a little selfish to go in and say like, well, you could be instead of sitting on the couch with your loved one, watching Netflix and drinking and boinking, you could be out like volunteering, you could be out like doing something for the world. I get it. But yeah, maybe that's what makes Jenny so successful is that she tries to live her life in that way of being loveless, not peeing in the pool. Yes, love is getting real comfortable and peeing in the pool. Love it. that's the lyric. Gotta go see you all. Yes, that sure was funny. Okay, let's get to everyone's favorite part of the night, where we go into X and see what crypto Twitter is talking about. Shall we? Let's shall. Actually, Bill Gardner says found this old gallery of real Randy Chavez videos. Let's get into stat. Oh, that's my. Look at that shirt. That's my Patrick Star shirt. Where like, ooh. Oh, I guess 36 or 4 years ago, I said 36 views. How I feel about the Rona and other things. Wow, that is wild. Let me give him a great times. That is what crypto Twitter is all about. Okay, let's do my following. Let's see what people I'm following are talking about. Obviously, it's one of the Bill Gardner stuff. Bullish EZA from Dom says, 2 bros and a dream world stage. Thank you, everyone. I guess Dom EZA was at Consensus. That looks great. I said 2 days ago. Ends at 2 a.m. Bonus time from Pablo CRO says, any buys from $300 to $3,000 from Meme Linked will be getting an additional 10% added to their bags. Will run for 48 hours. And so it ends at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. That's really interesting. And go to Meme Link. That's contract address. This is not sponsored at all, by the way. Any sells during the event will disqualify. Interesting. Vivek Ramaswamy is saying that the average student in China is 4 years ahead of the average student in the US in academic performance. I refuse to stand by and watch as the CCP laughs at our gradual decay. We'll lead Ohio to be the top state in the nation to put the focus of education where it belongs. Excellence. Yaspe. Love him. From Toontown. Oh, that's interesting. So VeVe Magic. Where's David U here? Oh, I guess David's following Webtoons, not Toontown. Never mind. I thought it was like, VeVe Magic is calling this thing Toontown, and David follows this thing, but he doesn't follow Toontown. He follows Webtown. It's a new show that VeVe Magic is doing. In the school, Nancy Mays. Oh, Nancy Mays says this week's district dog is Charlie. Her government name is Charlotte, but she goes by Charlie. She's 12 weeks old and was rescued this past weekend by her mom, who works for our office. The vet thinks she's a golden lab retriever mix. I'll be the judge of that. Definitely, they would call this a North Shore special in Long Island. Definitely mix. Yeah, Charlie's now living her best life in Low County. Look at that adorable pupper. Look at that adorable freaking pupper. I love puppers. And let's move on. Chop on Sui. Oh, that's a really fun name. So Space Penguin reposted Chop on Sui. I might go there later. I might go then and talk. How many people are on there? But again, I will be interviewing Space Penguins on Monday with All Dolled Up from Sharby at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New Canadian PM waves Zelensky's flag. Canada's freshly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney, just had his first hangout with Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky, and he didn't waste time. He told the world no peace without Ukraine, basically giving Russia the side eye during the messy ceasefire talks. Meeting went ahead in Rome right before the new Pope's big debut mass. Next up, Carney's hosting the G7 on Canada, while NATO preps for drone wars like it's a sci-fi sequel. Interesting. Doctor Strange talking about fatalities over there. Look at the Knicks versus Celtics. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is wild. Vivek Ramaswamy says the Ohio press will deny it, but we're actually going to win Summit County in 2026. Absolutely massive turnout. It looks massive. Looks big. Hot take from Crispus. Crispus has 1,100 followers over on X. He says, Sharby.fun is going to make a lot of people realize that they faded the wrong queen. It's not just a token. It's a whole experience. Hashtag Sharby, hashtag base. And Mr. MC1 says, I wonder what's coming, VeVe official. So excited. So let's see what other people are commenting. Big Uncle says, just so crazy to think about this right now, just to stay focused on the mission. One guy named 10GSWBK says, been here for plenty of these. If we have smoke, we have fire tweets. And unfortunately, fire rarely happens. Not even remotely entertaining this partnership idea. But I'm going to have to show me the money and an app that works better than it did today. Oh, someone's a little salty about that, but I get it. Lil Renz gives a smile. And then Imagi Dragon says, I pray it isn't a 9-month away tease. They've been pretty good about 3-month or less tease timelines. I would hope so as well. Dr. Strange says, WebV Weekends, episode 78. Shout out to his co-host, Omili Tees and Mega God Jesus, and a special guest, Igor Avenue, today that he did with them. Good for them. DB Crypto saying daCAT is climbing. I agree. Then there's an ad. Then there's Wolf Crypto. Then there is Aaron Awful saying, Americans are melting grandma's gold necklace for cash. Gold just passed 3,200 an ounce, and suddenly everyone's raiding jewelry boxes like there's a prize inside. One LA shop, business is booming with folks cashing in on old watches and old and earrings for near full market value. They're smelting down over $1 million in gold per day. Even family heirlooms aren't safe. People are ditching antiques just to ride the gold wave. Looks like sentimental value doesn't pay as well as molten value. Ooh, that is good. That is good. O'Malley says the Nerd Cave 77 newsletter drops this and every Sunday at 11 a.m. And also we did the show today, VeVe Official. Not easy at all, but really worth it. And I guess O'Malley has given out a bunch of gifts from the VeVe, from these VeVe spaces that he's doing. He gives out a bunch. I give out one like once per week, but he gives out more, I think. Aw, bunnies. Sorry. JD Vance lands in Rome for Pope's big debut. JD Vance and his wife, Usha, just touched down in Vatican City to witness a first in history. They're attending the inaugural mass of Pope Leo the 14th. Yes, the American Pope, first one ever. I have to sneeze. Oh, I don't have to sneeze. All right, we're good. Then you have Pablo always pumping his stuff on every single. It's amazing. OMGina saying weird O, and she's at the pool. Give her a like. Believes Crypto says, with an opportunity to dunk on you and tank the market this weekend, buyers have stepped in and held the Bitcoin price above 102,000. It's about to get crazy. BB tightening, RSI dipping, MACD positive. He expects a big moon soon. So I'll give him some eyes over there, and curious as to when. When is he going to see the big moon? When is this? Class wasn't solid. Epic photo, 2 legends. Let me see about that. Oh, I guess O'Malley's hosting a space called Vibes Sold Separately. I might go on later. I might not. I'll see. I have a lot of stuff to do. Oh, thanks for everyone commenting on my stuff. Y'all are great. Who's Nova says, hope it wasn't akin to my first task in the shop. Go ask maintenance control for the keys to the jets and then mop the rain for falling for it. Yeah. The military makes you do a lot of stupid stuff, like sweep the sun off the sidewalk or mop the rain. The military is like the worst cult ever, that they invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in you, depending on your career field. And life on the flight line kind of sucks. So I'm going to go in, but life on the flight line sometimes sucks. And that's something I feel like only military will get, but yes, he knows. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's read some of the comments on VeVe Digital Collectibles with their pop culture stuff. I'll do most relevant here. Oh, hey, I have the one with 7 legs, most relevant. Nobody else has that interpretation of VeVe posting it, where they say this post is a nod in recognition of historic moments in pop culture and gaming history. But they didn't say that there wasn't a partnership. So I'm going to assume there is. VeVe Viral says, OMI to Minecraft, let's freaking go. VeVe Meister showing his kids playing Minecraft, give that a like. Most played game of my children, I give that a like. Taki Gaijin, give that a like, because he says, I played this when it first came out. It was quite fun. Then I got hooked on League of Legends, and the fun was never the same. Higher Father says She-Hulk. Thought that was great. If anyone's seen those chicken jockey TikToks, you'll know exactly what this is. Wubba Wubba says, don't tease us like this if there isn't a partnership in the work. Gary O says, my kids love Minecraft. They still play as young adults. Crossing my fingers VeVe gets this license. OW3, I'm not sure who they are, but they give a little thinking face. I'll give them a like. So an outstanding movie too, says California Comics. DJMJ says, Minecraft, Roblox games in the VeVeverse would bring utility and fun. Imagine using your collection in-app games on VeVe. That would be great. Ozman says, stay tuned. Deadline says, me and Sefleaf are still playing to this day. Harris says, Minecraft partnership confirmed. This guy named, what does he say? This guy says, if you have this IP, please keep the price point lowish. Slight animation, hopefully. Up Crypto says, I see what you did there. Mr. Epico is Alan trying to count cards. Sailor's dad says chicken jockey. Mr. Hulk doing the head bob thing. Okay, there's a whole bunch of this. Let's keep moving on. Space Penguin has already impacted the world by no. Yes, Space Penguin. So the reason I'm getting them on tomorrow or Monday is because they already impact the world. They've donated to 5 appointed charities, one of which was Best Friends Animal Society, which I love. So gotta love that. Oh, I don't know why Angel Reese be wanting these. Like, she is not good, and also nope. They lost by 34 points today. Ozempic, now with bonus anxiety. Ozempic and Wegovy can do more than shrink your waist. They might mess with your mood too. People using weight loss drugs to look better are ending up with anxiety as a bonus prize. Some users say they've dropped pounds and their will to leave the house. Doctors are shrugging, blaming everything from brain chemistry to vibes. One even said that the drug might not be the issue. You were just stressed before, and now you're stressed in a smaller shirt. Might be time to hit the gym instead of the pharmacy. Agreed. I've heard Ozempic do great things for other people. As I sip my beer, I'll be like, I like to do things naturally. sips beer, but that's none of my business. Cooling. Oh, good. Okay. This is a ton. Great times. Okay, very good. Let's move on from here. Two legendary giants. Nubu, Base Girl. Base Girl says today is a great day to build on base. I agree. OMI. Yeah. Okay. And let's take a look at Azza says, remember, boys, speculation is fun. Have fun with it. Don't get angry like a weirdo when it doesn't play out. When Pokemon, when talking about VeVe. Ow, my back. Spider-Man Noir, first appearance, Mint 2008, is now showing on the exhibition area of the California Comic Store. Love that stuff. Excuse me. Aw. Love wrestling. Love AEW. Love all wrestling. Doge to USPS. Finally, some common sense. The Postal Service looked at 8,639 contracts and said, nah, to 1,076 of them. Doge just praised them for getting rid of the contracts that seemed to make no sense. In one case, the USPS ditched $791,000 for negotiation skills training, ironic, and $100,000 for extra hotel rooms at a staff meeting. Looks like the United States postal system is getting serious about efficiency. The source is Doge. Love it. Tacky Guy says, is there something anyone is looking for in gems on VeVe? Maybe I have it. I need gems for the Blackpink lol. If it means worse comes to worse, I'll swipe that thing. He will swipe that thing. He has some AF-15s and a Myrmicorno. Just read this on live. Maybe you get someone. Yeah, if someone's looking for something, message Kaki Gaijin. Posted an hour ago. See what he's got. Toilet Dust says, a few weeks ago, we dropped 100 Toilet Club Alpha passes for free to thank our early believers. And the first resale, $1,800. Silver Mints 2, Gold Mints 3, Diamond Mints 4, free plus guaranteed on all future drops. Discord opens this week. Why am I talking about Toilet Dust? Because we have a meeting soon, and maybe we'll try to get Toilet Dust into the VeVe. Again, Toilet Dust, which is led by Dr. Ari Bernstein, MD, 35,000 followers, and Toilet Dust themselves have 12,000 followers. So I would love to see some type of collaboration with VeVe and get some of their. They could be in a comic. They could be in their own comic. I'll let you know. We're supposed to. We'll have more meetings. I'll say meow, and I'll give him some smiles. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Journalism. Okay, I'm gonna do that. And Volt Inu. Yeah, Volt Inu's got might have some type of idea with them that we can do. I'll keep you all posted. Not 100% sure. And thanks you to everyone who's reliking my stuff. Who's Natasha? Watching Sweden's entry. That's not about crypto. Uncanny Valley isn't magic. It's math, scale, and margins at Richard Socher. I love Uncanny Valley. Then the marginal cost of intelligence hasn't come down that much. People want $10 answers for a cent, and that's not scalable. The AI future isn't black or white. It's messy, expensive, and very human. In a world obsessed with shortcuts, real intelligence still costs something. 94% of AI agents do nothing, but your job is still on the line. AI agents can book meetings. They can't click ads. They can't even admit when they're wrong. Only 6% of enterprises' seats are used. Most agents sit idle, confident, useless, and expensive. And yet entire teams are being restructured around them. Budgets near shifting. Job postings vanish. They're not replacing workers because AI works. They're doing it because pretending it does feels safer than admitting AI still weird and broken. CEO of U.com and partner at AIX Ventures, Richard Socher, joins Operation Danish to talk about what's broken now and the future we're sleepwalking into. That is interesting. Yeah, Uncanny Valley. They didn't really explain what Uncanny Valley was. I'll say it right here. It's when you see something that looks like a human, but it's not a human. And clearly there's an evolutionary factor for that tells us why. Wild stuff. Anyway, let's keep on. Oh, look at that. Again today. Memezilla, ladies and gentlemen, daCAT is the leader. On this day, I see clearly. Sorry, that song has been stuck in my head forever. I love Edge. Hesse.base.e says base season is on, Solana season is off. Yes, I'll go and give him a little comment over there. Oh, my back. On ticker trending, Winecoin, Meme Linked, and Kendu Inu were the ones that are trending on this day. Whoa. Gynandromorphism, cardinal. That is cool. That is dope. I think the females have the bright red and the males have the not bright red. And I guess if you have both, damn, that is wild. Someone told someone recently that there's little real competition in crypto, not because there aren't good projects, but because few are building the right way for the mid to long term. Most fade with time, and time matters more than speed. Agreed, toilet intern. Who do we have here? This guy named DeVille has got my toilet alpha pass currently 250 SUI floor. And then you have Toilet Does saying, the Gold Toilet Club Alpha Pass means you will be able to be guaranteed WL and guaranteed to mint 3 NFTs free for our collection of this summer and all future collections. You really want to get these guys on the podcast. Really want to get them on the VeVe. You have Crypto Joe saying, through thick and thin, always supporting VeVe, collect what you love. Hashtag Star Wars, $David U, or at David U at My Collectibles. Oh, that's cool. There's a transparent phone. It's like you don't even see it. Like it. Oh my God, that is wild. Austria wins Eurovision with 178 points from the public vote. Austria singer JJ has won Eurovision 2025. Total record of 436 points pushes Israel into second place. I don't know what that is, but that's kind of cool. Not going to do that. Oh, Millie, thanks for shouting out the space. Oh, going to life, change it. It's on toilet. There's a lot of people talking about toilet, but it's really just Dr. Ari reposting everything. And now let's go to my For You page, and let's see what are done there. Prince Manvendra says, pride is not just a protest, it's a celebration of who we are. From Stonewall in 69 to today, we walk with dignity, honoring those who stood before us. We are not the margins, we are the mainstream. I'm just going to give him some hearts, because Prince Manvendra is a friend of mine, and I think he's a good dude, and I can't wait to see him again. Maybe he'll be on again soon. Damn, can't believe Crypto Cosmo got the number 77. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so freaking good. Give him some hearts. Very happy. Well deserved. He's a good dude. He deserves all the happiness. Brandon Babcock says, what does this mean? Wrong answers only when talking about VeVe. Who else has been requoting this? You gotta take a look at it. Crypto Cosmo says, you have my attention. I'll give him some fire. Straight fire. I read Khaki Gaijin. VeVe Meister says, and everyone who thought David Yu was trolling. Collectors Gone Digital giving those eyes. Pockets full of NFTs says, could be a new bully in the sandbox. OW3 giving that thinking face. Captain VeVe says, when Minecraft X VeVe official. Patient Hodler says, wait, what? This is going to break the app. Oh, wait. It's already broken. Nancy May says, spent the afternoon at Wisconsin GOP. Wisconsin is God's country, and they love our President Trump, delivering a historic win in November. I'll give her a woo. Woo! Like I said, I'd love to get Nancy on the podcast. She follows me. We've known each other for a while. She used to comment on all my stuff on Facebook because I would mostly post military stuff. Luke Belmar says, spend your money when you are young, travel the world, take risks, meet people, and quit that BS job you hate, and never settle for less. Enjoy life when you're young. Don't fall for the lie of being happy tomorrow or enjoying your money when you're old. Live every day as if it was your last on this planet, because one day that'll be true. And Grumpy X reposts that and says, which meme community makes this reality possible? And, I'll tell him. I think $ daCAT and $SHIRO are some of the best. Because I know these teams very intimately. So I'm part of them. It's AU Charlotte says, Sharby token. If you're seeking a strong community on base, Sharby is definitely worth considering. Be sure to check out their website for more. Let's go, Sharby. And this gal has 38,000 followers. Very nice. I don't follow her. She doesn't follow me, but anyone that's building on base, I really like. Steve Cannon reposts Delphi Digital saying SUI ecosystem accelerates key growth and tech milestones. They go through a lot of stuff. And then Steve Cannon says, are you seeing this? Very interesting. It's 1 day ago, 10 hours ago. Crypto Queen says Thursday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us for an epic space where we deep dive into Sheeb's origins and the legendary love of Ryoshi. I'll give her a couple of smiley faces. And then we'll do 10 more minutes. So I'll get to 2 hours and then I'll bounce. Shiroshi says, wishing you a perfectly awesome weekend. P.S. Shiro Nico. We'll give him a meow. If it even is a him. I don't know who Shiroshi is. Anyway, speaking of people that I may or may not know, shout out to Captain Altcoin. Captain Altcoin will be featured in a couple of daCAT comics. And then also Ladies on the Soul. Be a tie-in in there. Oh, tie-in. Yes. In order to get the full experience, you're going to have to buy Ladies on Soul comics. Shout out to them. I love them. I give them a shout out on Spaces as well because they do awesome stuff. Retail Pleb says, Treasury buybacks equals stealth QE, May 2025. 602 million in debt buybacks this month. TGA balance was down 496 billion, was 677 billion at the start of May. Net cash outflow is 181 billion. That cash goes back into the system. Liquidity boost, risk asset pump, QE in disguise. Crypto Chick says, good morning, future Voltillionaires. She's part of the Volt people. So I'll give her a woo. And again, really exciting, really trying to get some type of partnership with Volt, whether it's on the channel, whether it's on the show I do on Monday, or just having to do something with the comic, because I really, really want to write their comic. It's going to be really great. I really want to get them involved. And Doobs got the number 66, as in execute order 66, saying this happened today. Holy heck. I'll put awesome. Everything is awesome when you're part of a team. Brock McBlockchain says, I keep coming up with game ideas. This is going to be so fun. And I haven't had him on in a while. Let me give him some eyes, because he's so cool. He's a cool dude. Trending number 2 on coingem.com is toilet dust. What else is trending? Pepe's cat, meditation coin, Lupus the wolf, Amaterasu Flockers, CZ's dog, Meow, MIAO coin, and Moodang. All right, interesting. Let me go. All right, we got about 8 minutes here. Let me X out of this. Okay. Oh, yeah. Rethink your weekend. 1,500 calories for 2 slices of pizza and a beer, 2,000 calories for a burger, fries, and a beer, 0 calories for for being on X, Coinbase, Dex Screener, and all that. Not going to lie, he's right. But at what cost? At what cost? It's like that Supernatural episode where Dean says, listen, Sam, I know running keeps you healthy, but at what cost? Penguin says, Randy, are you a gamer? I'm what you would call a casual fan. If you're just listening and you can't, like, you're driving, whatever, you can't see, I'm showing you my Triforce, my Paper Mario tattoo, my Yoshi tattoo, my Kirby tattoo, and I'm rolling up the sleeve here. This is really tight to show you the Donkey Kong throwing the Pokeball. I have put well over 100 hours in Pokemon Blue, 600 hours. Pokemon Red and Yellow, a couple hundred each. Pokemon Gold was like well over 1,100 hours. Silver had a bit as well, and Crystal had a bit as well. But boy, Gold, like, the breeding was just so just that mechanic. I wanted to be a geneticist when I was younger. Because the things that you could do. Again, there was no there was a little internet, but there wasn't Bulbapedia. There wasn't like these, like Pokedex or whatever. You had to find out. Like, I had to find out in the game why in Gen 2 there was no stones, and you had to find fire stones. You had to find, you had to go to Bill's house. Like, your mom can call and she can buy you a firestone. This one kid could give you a firestone, but for the most part, you got like one stone in the second half of the game after doing some really weird riddle stuff at Bill's house, and that part wasn't fun because I couldn't get an Arcanine. Like, my Growlithe like level 50. I was like, what the fudge? And eventually I did. I got another Growlithe and we did stuff, but And I got a Growlithe. I evolved him right away. And my Arcanine, because I gave him so many meds, I gave him so much protein and iron, and I forget the one for. I gave him everything. I had protein, iron, zinc, etc. But the one for special, I think that was calcium. Proteins for attack, irons for defense, and I think calcium was special because my guy is so fast. I think zinc might have been speed. Carbos was speed, and he wasn't gonna get hit. He was in like the early level 20s, and I was fudging up Will from the Elite Four in Gen 2. And like he was so good because one, I taught him right out of the egg, just gave him all of this stuff, like all of these meds. And it cost me probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in-game currency to do that because it's like $9,800 per vitamin, and you could give him like 9 to 12 vitamins each. So it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then he made it back. He would buy he could take most of the Pokemon League on by himself by like level 40. And like most of them by himself. And yeah, he was very good. And then obviously Red, I think he was actually level 40 something when I put him against Red's Venusaur. And he won. And Red's Venusaur was like 77. But the breeding where you go in and you are able to take a Arcanine and breed it with Eradicate, and it turns into a male version of what the mom is. So that's why Togepi is always male. Togepi is always male because back in the day, if you bred Togepi with a Pidgeot, like whatever, and I remember breeding Togepi got all the sex because when it evolved into Togetic, breed with a Pidgeot, Pidgeot or whatever, and I did it like 20 something times, and each time it was a Pidgey. So it usually turns into a male version of what the mom is. So I was like, okay, I know this is what I'd had Eradicate, raised it to level 100, but I bred my Arcanine with that Raticate, and the Rattata like new Flame Wheel. Like getting a Rhydon and then breeding it with a Donphin, and your Fanphy can come out. No, I did it with my Nidoking. I bred my Nidoking with a Donphin, and the Fanphy came out of the egg learning Earthquake. So it knows the dad's move. There's not a ton of things that breed with Feraligatr. So one of the things was Corsola, and back in the day, like I didn't think of an HM slave. So the Corsola came out knowing Return, Surf, and Whirlpool. I was like, what? Oh, this is awesome. But yeah, there's so Gold, definitely Pokemon games. But even recently, I had just restarted Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I think that was on Game Boy Advance back in the day. That's a great game. Obviously, Legend of Zelda, love Yoshi Story, Kirby in Dreamland, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, Kirby Return to Dreamland. That one weird thing with Samus, like it just, and again, Pokemon Donkey Kong. I have probably spent more hours on Pokemon related things. I've probably spent 30,000 hours on Pokemon related things. It says 10,000 hours to get you to be like a master at it. I've probably spent more than 30,000 hours on, probably even close to 40 now, on Pokemon related things. You realize how massive Minecraft is if we get that IP. Well, it depends on how. Like we have. I feel like I didn't finish the rest of your question before, that happened. So Ubisoft has like 9 million. Let's take a look at Ubisoft. And we're going to go over the 2-hour check here. Ubisoft has 11 million followers, and we have multiple drops from them, and it didn't really do much. Why? It's because it's literally a multi-billion-dollar question of how to get the fans from these games, from these IPs, and bring them onto VeVe. Like, no one's been able to answer that yet efficiently. Like last time, Disney was retweeting us, ESPN had us on their whole freaking page, and you had these like big mega sports guys, because he who shall not be named paid like $1 million to have like BitBoy or Crypto Boy, whatever his name is, Logan Paul and other people, and Cryptos R Us pump the OMI token while they had this official marketing going on, and it's just nobody's willing to do that. So trying to go in and you can make an artificial pump like that and build that hype, but you had multiple professional athletes in these spaces with people, and it's just it hasn't come around yet. Like it will, that narrative will happen. But again, we had the same thing with Ubisoft. So if we do the same thing as our partnership with Ubisoft, if these are even partners, like again, my speculation is one thing and reality is another, even though the Venn diagram might be like this, or the Venn diagram might be like this, where it's like very, very much not in there. You have a very interesting opportunity here that VeVe has, where if they do it the same as Ubisoft and they give you the characters of these games, you know, they might make 30K, 50K, you know, if there's 100K, there's a couple drops. But if they really want to get people excited, you have to offer them something that they can't get in one game. Like get like a new type of chicken jock, get a new type of character that isn't in those games yet, that you can only buy on VeVe, and then you could use those in those games. Again, that sounds way too good to be true. But if they just do the same thing that they had with Ubisoft, you know, it's I don't think it'll do that well. Will a certain amount of people come in? Yes, we've seen that uptick already, and NFTs are kind of heating up, so we might see that uptick already. And again, if they do it right, Minecraft, Roblox, Pokemon, yeah. God, if they got Pokemon, oh my, yeah, it could be massive, could be insane. Nice one, taking that shirt off. Yeah. I got my Charizard. I got the little Vaporeon under here. Is it Vanillipede? I forget the name of that bug fire Pokemon. Which Pokemon title would you say is most enjoyable, and would you recommend playing on an emulator right now? If there was a good emulator that could play 3DS games, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Also, Pokemon, I think it's Rumble. I think it was on like the Switch at first, but it's one where you start off as like a Pikachu. You like it's like a kind of like a hack and flash game, but with Pokemon, you get these, and each new like you can like catch these Pokemon. Each new Pokemon you defeat and defeat a bunch of Pokemon at each level. You can use them in other levels, and one's an ice level, one's a ground level, and obviously Pikachu wouldn't do good in the ground levels, but he would do really good in like a water level or a flying level. So and you get all the and the Pokemon get stronger, and you continuously get them, and that I think it was Pokemon Rumble. That was really good. But Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the reason I like those, I don't want to say the most, but the original Gold and Silver were great. But you again, the ability to get like let's say you wanted to play as a new dog. Like let's say you did, you know, Arcanine in red, blue, yellow, and you played as him. One, if you wanted the new dog like Houndour and Houndoom, you don't get them until after you beat the Johto, and you get him in Kanto, and he's a Johto dog. They introduce him in Johto, and you can't get him in Johto. That was wild. That was fucking wild. But in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it is they follow you. In the second gen, you know, in Gold and Silver, they don't follow you. And in Gold and Silver, when you breed Pokemon, you can get them out of the egg at level 1. So you get extra time with your Pokemon. So that I really like as well. So Phanpy coming out of the egg in Gold comes out at level 5. Phanpy coming out of the egg knowing Earthquake in Gold and Silver, Heart Gold, level 1. So that's really cool. And again, the reason I still play the old games on the emulator is because I haven't found the good one for 3DS games. And I would totally do it on a 3DS game if I could go 8 times as fast. But you know, the games take a while. I can't play at normal speed. I don't have time for that. But if I can play them at 8 times speed, 4 to 8 times speed, then yeah, I'll play all day. Because again, I can do certain things. Like if I have 10 minutes, I actually have 40 minutes, you know, in-game time. But I just never have like 40 minutes or an hour like to do that. I'm always doing something. Can be okay. Sweet. Okay. Good. I gotta give you a follow here. Not follow, give you a fire here. Perfect. But yeah, Pokemon Rumble, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But so that's Pokemon titles. Again, I love Kirby. Dreamland, Nightmare and Dreamland. I love these different things. I love a lot of Nintendo games. Big Nintendo guy. But as far as Pokemon, I think those are really good. And if you can find an emulator for stuff on the 3DS, then you know that. Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Yeah, those are really good. And again, so in Kanto, in the original games, you can beat Kanto as many times as you want. Like you can go in and beat the Elite Four in Kanto, and they never change. They have the other battles that you can do outside of the Elite Four, which Lance is capped at level 50. Is you can fight this guy Cal once per day in Viridian City, where he's got a level 50 for Alligator, Typhlosion, and Meganium. And then you can obviously defeat Red. But in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, once you get all 8 badges and defeat Red, the Johto Elite Four, they change. And their levels are like level 60, 70. It's like, damn! So you do get a much more of a challenge in the post game for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because the Elite Four in Johto change their Pokemon and they're like level 60, 70, and that's a real challenge. Red is still, I think, the strongest or the best, but the Elite Four in Johto, that changes. So that's really hard. But it's fun. And again, you have your Pokemon follow you, and that's really fun too. Now, as a parent, I went to extreme lengths one Christmas to let my son play Minecraft on his new Nintendo. Look hard to the window for Wi-Fi because our home Wi-Fi wasn't fast enough. Oh, wow, that's wild. Because Assassin's Creed sucked for last year. 17 was the latest good Assassin's Creed game. In 2020, the Me Too allegations started. The company went, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's a fair point. Fair point. So then, any handhelds? I have a Switch, but I want to get the Switch 2 when it comes out, because playing Mario Kart, like playing as Mewtwo in a Mario Kart, you can finally play as Pokemon in a Mario Kart game. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna get the Switch 2, but I still have the Switch 1 where I said I have Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. That's a great game. I love that game. I played it a couple times now. There's like glitches for that game, like people speed run it. Like it's gonna take me like 40 hours to beat, because I like to take my time. I like to chill, but yeah. So I have that one. But just like, again, I don't really have a ton of time. But Mario parties are good. I think Metroid was good, the last one that came out. On Melon DS, you can crank up the speed for 3DS speed. Oh, wait, for like 3 times speed, crank up the speed. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe I'll have to start. It's very good. Good news would be, yep, good news. All good things. And let's see if I have any notifications here before we sign off, because it's been 2 hours. Mention you in a group. Somebody asks, why did you smash with someone so terrible? And someone tagged me. He's like, I can't help it. He's so attractive. It's hysterical. I'm not going to answer that. Anyway, that is going to probably be all for today. That's some guy named. Nope, he's a bot. So I'm going to get rid of him. Remove. All right, everyone, that'll be it for me today. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget that tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's going to be tomorrow, right? Yep, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's going to be a Spaces. Let me just make sure I have it right. 12 p.m. Yep, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a Spaces for hosted by Chaos on the Chains. And I'll invite everyone. So I'll invite everyone that's on here, and you can come up and show your best projects. You can come up and say, hey, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to go in and talk about. And it could be anything. It could be unicorn fart dust. It could be fart coin, any type of those things. But obviously I want to invite people from the places that I know, Definity, DEVVE, daCAT, SHIRO, and obviously Chaos will be co-hosting it. But then everyone here can go in and talk about what they want as well. So getting a little bit into that. Everyone, I love you all. Class dismissed. I love the Chops Movie song. We'll end on a different note. I'm awake. Oh my God, my throat is gone. Now it's my time. I'll do what I want, because this is my life. Right here, right now.